Welcome back. All right, time to review tonight's games. If you're looking for a review of the first three games that took place today, the matinee ones, that review is already on the channel. That being said, we did have some very interesting action tonight. So we're going to start things off talking about Boston and Toronto. Swayman versus Stolars in this one. Early on a power play, Toronto would score at 3:12. It's Robertson tipping in a net feed. Domi and Riley with the assists. So Toronto's really struggled on their power plays. They get the power play marker here, and it felt like that's a good sign for Toronto, but the lead lasts 18 seconds. At 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Geekie puts one through Stolars from the slot, the assist to Lowry. That was the first shot on net for Boston, and then 20 seconds later on a turnover, Arvidsson taps one in at 3 minutes and 50 seconds on the second shot of the game for Boston. They scored on both of their first two shots, and they're ahead 2-1, even though I thought Toronto played well to that point. Well, Toronto would eventually tie it up. At 13:03, Michelli buries one on a pass from behind the net. Roy and Riley with the assists. So we have a 2-2 tie. That score would hold up till after the first period. And being honest, even though I'm a Bruins fan, I was like, Toronto really needs this game. I don't know that Boston's going to come out of here with 2 points. Boston's had this big winning streak. They come to an end eventually. Well, in the second period, Boston thought the puck was in. They review it, and yes, the puck completely crossed the line. So at 2:15 on the power play, Boston gets the goal from Asimont, Kuznetsov and Lowry with the assists. One thing I will say for Marco Sturm, on the power play, he puts guys out there that I wouldn't think would be power play players, and it seems to be working. Then at 4:41, Pasternak scores his 399th goal, the assist to Geekie and Hampus Lindholm, and that ends the night for Stolars, who did not bring his A game tonight. Hildeby goes in. Hildeby was fantastic. I'm still bewildered at the picking up of Caden Primo when Hildeby could have been the backup for a while. At any rate, we then had a fight between Zadorov and McMahon. Zadorov threw a hit McMahon didn't like, so Zadorov beat him up. Then on a power play at 16:51, Toronto gets within a goal. Tavares, a one-timer from the slot. Nylander and Ekman-Larsson with the assists, making the score 4-3. That would be your score after 2. And I kept thinking, Toronto's going to tie this. They're going to end up winning it because they need this game. I felt like Toronto really needed this game. So Nylander thought he had scored. The referee said no. They even went back and viewed it on replay. Now, the fans thought it was in. A lot of the fans thought it was in the arena. It was not. It hit the where the post meets the crossbar. It drops. It goes off the post as well, across the crease. It did not cross that line, so it doesn't count. So that's reviewed, and then not long after, at 16:58, Minton roofs one far corner on a turnover, the assist to Kastelik. Makes it 5-3, and I was so surprised by what I had seen. The tying goal is not a goal, and then Boston scores almost immediately thereafter. I will admit I had a chuckle. It's not the only time I had a bit of a chuckle tonight. There was some hockey tonight that I did find kind of entertaining. The goalie pull happens with 2:45 left. That becomes 6-on-4 with 2:05 left. With 47.5 seconds left, Boston calls a timeout to give their penalty killers a bit of a breather, and it works. It's a 5-3 win for Boston. I think part of the reason I'm laughing and I'm enjoying the games, I think with me not doing all the notes and obsessing on trying to watch as much as I can of everything, kind of more enjoying the hockey. So your 3 stars are Geekie, Riley, and Lowry. Shots on net, 13-6 Boston in the first, 14-12 Boston in the second, 15-12 Toronto in the third. A lot of shots in this game, 39-33 Boston. Power plays, Boston scored on the only one they had. Toronto went 2 for 4. The hits, 26-22 for Toronto. Swayman had a good night, 30 saves on 33 shots. Stolars, not as much, 15 saves on 19 shots, but then Hildeby saved 19 out of 20 in relief. So yeah, there you go. All right, next up, Utah and Montreal. Got a lot to talk about here. Vejmelka versus Montembeault. And early on, Yamamoto buries a rebound from the doorstep at 3:03. Cole and Stenlund with the assists. So Utah's been known to jump on teams early. They do that here as well. But there's an answer from Montreal later in the period. At 14:45, Kapanen goes far side on a rush. Demidov and Carrier with the assists, and we have a 1-1 tie. So I think that's Kapanen's 6th of the season already. We have a 1-1 tie after 1. Second period, Utah would get the lead back. So the Habs wanted a call here. They felt there was a trip, and they stopped playing. Don't stop playing. You got to keep playing. Krause makes them pay on a 3-on-1. Carconi and McBain with the assists at 6:02. So Utah gets that goal because Montreal distracted, looking for a call. but Montreal gets it back. And at 6:44, it's Caulfield, because of course it's Caulfield. Dobson with the assist. We have a 2-2 tie. Montreal didn't allow whatever call they wanted to be made to affect them. At 13-13, they get the lead. Newhook roofs one in close on a rush chance. Kapanen with the assist. We have a 3-2 lead for Montreal, and that's your score after 2. In the third period, the referee is informed that he sucks with about 8 minutes left. Fans wanting a call they didn't get. But then they felt okay at 13-29 when Caulfield ends up getting a goal, and a review had to be looked at in order to see that the puck crossed the line. It was way in the net. Caulfield from Slavkovsky and Matheson. We have ourselves a 4-2 lead for Montreal. Then Utah tries pulling the goaltender. Doesn't quite work out. So Montreal makes him pay. It's Suzuki from Newhook at 18 minutes. And then at 19:23, Kirby Dach on a nice deke from in close on a turnover. He scores. Your final score is 6-2 for Montreal. What a meltdown by Utah. 3 stars are Caulfield, Kapanen, and Newhook. Shots on net, 5-4 Montreal in the first, so not a lot of shots there. 15-7 Utah in the second, 11-8 Montreal in the third. Final shots 27-23 for Utah. Power plays, both teams 0 for 2. The hits 25-22 for Montreal. Vejmelka, 17 saves on 23 shots. Montembeault, 25 saves on 27 shots. All right, moving along. Washington and Tampa. This was an interesting game as well. I think there was like a controversy in almost every game today. So we have Thompson versus Vasilevsky, and at 4:06, Washington opens the scoring. Duhaime catches Vasilevsky off the post from a sharp angle. Just there's very little space to get, but NHL players will hit that spot. Frank and Dowd with the assists, but Tampa would get it back a little less than 2 minutes later. At 6:05, Lilleberg puts it in from the slot on a rush. Gensel and Dastus with the assist. There's Dastus on the board again. Then at 15:08, Tampa gets their first lead of the game. It's Gensel tipping in a point shot. Hedman and Hagel with the assists. Makes it 2-1 for Tampa. That would remain your score after 1 period of play. Second period, James took a puck in the face. He had to leave to get repairs. James has been quite the pickup for Tampa. Like, seriously, their scouting staff is fantastic. McDonough exited at that point. They said he may not return. I didn't see him come back into the game, so we'll see if there's an injury report on him tomorrow. Everything's pushy with 3:11 left, so 4-on-4 results. And then at 17:08, it's during the 4-on-4, but it's not because of the 4-on-4. Carlson gets a goal that originally had assists on it, but I knew those assists were going to go away, and they do, because Chernak put it in his own net. He shot it in his own net. So Chernak's goal credited to Carlson, and we have a 2-2 tie. Beauvillier then has a buzzer beater. That saved. Looms large with the third period on the horizon. So it stays 2-2 into the third period until at 8:42, Hagel puts one past a screen, glove side from the slot. The assist to James. So James comes back in the game and gets an assist. And we have ourselves a 3-2 lead for Tampa. There's a late power play for Tampa. The Caps pull the goalie for 5-on-5. They're not able to generate anything. And then we had a fight between Chychrun and Chernak at the horn. So 3-2 win for Tampa. And then we get a fight too at the horn here. Your 3 stars are Hagel, Gensel, and Dastus. Shots on net favored Washington the whole way. 13-7 in the first, 9-8 in the second, 8-4 in the third. Final shots 30-19 in favor of Washington. And yet Vasilevsky's not one of the stars. What's up with that? Power plays 0 for 1 for Washington, 1 for 2 for Tampa. The hits 20-19 Tampa. Thompson 16 saves on 19 shots. And Vasilevsky 29 saves on 30 shots. So, guy putting the puck in his own net's not necessarily controversy, but it's definitely noteworthy and gets a discussion. Speaking of discussing and noteworthy, the Islanders and the Rangers. Oh my lord. Sorokin versus Shesterkin. They had a nice ceremony before the game, remembering the moments of the last 100 years and all of the great moments. And they had all these guys from the past out there. Maybe they should have seen if they brought their skates. So 10:31 into the first period. It's a cross-ice pass and in on a rush. It's Bo Horvat, still one of my all-time favorites. Heineman and Palmieri with the assists. And then late in the period, this last-minute goals can be killers. 19:27, Drouin with a nice deke in close on a rush. Duclair and Pajot with the assists. We have a 2-0 lead for the Islanders after one, which Ranger fans were getting kind of vocal about already. Second period, it stays 2-0 through most of it, and then at 18:42 on an Islanders power play, Horvat goes short side from the right circle to make it 3-0. The assist to Drouin and Barzell. So Drouin had himself quite the game. So did Horvat. The Boo Birds getting kind of loud late in this period. The Islanders also pressed to close it out. So it's 3-0 for the Islanders after 2. So the question becomes, can the Rangers score at home? And I kept waiting for a goal. I'm like, they can't get shut out again. They can't, right? Even had to call Yvonne in. Like, they're getting shut out again. Goalie pull happens with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. The Rangers call a timeout with 3:06 left. Whatever they discuss doesn't matter. An empty netter at 17:58 by J.G. Pajot, Holmstrom, and Drouin with the assists makes it 4-0. And then at 19 minutes and 30 seconds, Lee gets the 5th goal. Pajot and Duclair with the assists. We have a 5-0 win. The Dalek Magnets on the board for an extermination. 5-0 Islanders in Madison Square Garden. I don't think you can fire a coach this early in the season, but I have never seen a team get shut out 5 times in their first 7 games at home. I don't know that it's a historic first, but it kind of has to be. Even expansion teams get goals at home. Your 3 stars are Sorokin, Horvat, and Drouin. Shots on net, 9-8 Islanders in the first, 12-7 Islanders in the second, 18-5 for the Rangers in the third. They tried. And that's the thing. They end up outshooting the Islanders 33-26. Power plays, 1 for 2 for the Islanders, 0 for 2 for the Rangers. The hits, 18-14 for the Islanders. Sorokin saved all 33 shots for the shutout, and Shesterkin saves 21 out of 25 at the other end. So the Rangers continue to be good on the road and absolutely god-awful at home. It's just, I know that their play's okay. The analytics will say, hey, they'll come through this. I talked about that in a video a few weeks ago. I'm starting to think there needs to be a video strictly on the Rangers, and I should probably find time to do that tomorrow or soon, right? Okay, moving along. The Buffalo Sabres and the Carolina Hurricanes, Lyon versus Kochetkov, and exactly 5 minutes into the period, Carolina opens the scoring. Aho! It's a cross-ice pass and in on a rush. Svechnikov with the helper on that, 1-0 Carolina. It stays that way till 8:18. On the turnover, Owen Power puts one in from the slot. Ostlund with the assist. So Power gets on the board. It's 1-1. That's your score after the first period. Second period. At 4:34, it's a power play marker. Svechnikov with a one-timer from the right circle. The power play for Carolina, abysmal. Maybe that's a sign it's turning things around. The assist on that one, Miller and Ehlers. So Ehlers with another helper. His point streak continues. Then at 11:39, it's a one-timer from the left circle by Kotkaniemi. So if he gets things going, that's good for Carolina. This makes it 3-1. I'm going to say Nystrom, but I think it's Nystrom or Newstrom. And I say Nystrom because remember Bob Nystrom, but I know that's not how it's pronounced. The other assist to Taylor Hall. So that makes it 3-1 for Carolina. That's 3 goals for Carolina. To that point in the game, Buffalo had 7 shots. So Carolina's very good at shot suppression, but it shows you how much Buffalo struggled in this game. It's 3-1 after 2. Third period, 29 seconds in. Eric Robinson just recently returned to the lineup. He gets a goal to make it 4-1. The assist to Kotkaniemi and Legault. For Legault, that is his first National Hockey League point. Way to go, Legault. Then at 3:23, Buffalo starts to fight their way back into it. Tuck buries one far side from the right circle on a rush. Tage Thompson with the assist. They enjoyed that so much they would do something similar. At 6:47, Thompson with a one-timer from the slot on a rush. The assist to McLeod and Tuck. So Thompson and Tuck both with a goal and an assist. And all of a sudden we have a 4-3 game. The goalie pull happens with 2:44 left, and at 17:56, Jarvis hits the empty net. The assist to Stahl, and then at 18:32, with the goalie pulled again, Legault gets his first National Hockey League goal. He got his first National Hockey League assist tonight as well. That's a way to make your debut. 6-3 win for the Carolina Hurricanes. I think this was his first game. Either way, 6-3 win for Carolina. Your 3 stars are Svechnikov, Legault, and Kotkaniemi. Shots on net, 10-6 Carolina in the first, 15-5 Carolina in the second, 11-10 for Buffalo in the third. Final shots, 35-22 for Carolina. The power plays, Buffalo 0 for 1, Carolina 1 for 2. The hits, 25-21 Carolina. Lions saves 29 out of 33. Kochetkov, 19 saves on 22 shots. All right, moving along. Seattle and St. Louis. So this magnet here for St. Louis, I'll go ahead, I'll pull it off the board. Actually, a subscriber sent these to me, so I thought, yeah, I'll use that on the board. It's tall, so I can't use it on the other kinds of reviews I do, but I can use it on this one. Anyways, Grubauer versus Hofer in this one. Hofer starting again. I think maybe we don't have a goalie controversy in St. Louis, but it is notable that Hofer started back-to-back games after relieving Bennington in the previous game. At any rate, at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, St. Louis scores on a turnover. Holloway buries it from the slot, and it was the first shot on net for St. Louis. So not a great start for Grubauer or for Seattle. And then at 9:40, during a power play, it's a one-timer from the right circle. Dvorsky gets the goal. The assist to Fowler and Buchnevich. So we have a 2-0 lead for St. Louis, and that lead would last through the first period. Second period, cue the comeback for Seattle. At 8:26, Riker Evans. What a way to make your return to the lineup. He gets a goal here. Tolvanen and Cartier with the assist, and it's from the left circle, and it was under the arm of Hofer. Then on a power play at 15:25, Ellie Tolvanen finally gets his first goal of the season. He buries a rebound from the right circle. Dunn and Eberle with the assists. We have a 2-2 tie. That score would hold up through 2 periods of play. Third period, 5 minutes and 10 seconds in. Kyrou, it was just an absolute yard sale at the net, and Kyrou just kind of puts it over a down Grubauer while everybody's swimming around. Kyrou scores this one for Broberg and Thomas. St. Louis has the lead back at 3-2. Chances were at a premium after that. Both defenses played very, very well the rest of the way. Goalie pull happens with 2:42 left, and Hofer misses the empty net. He tried. We've had 3 different goaltenders now try for an empty netter. It's going to happen. We're going to get goalie goals this year. Then with 11.6 seconds left, the Kraken call a timeout. And all I'm thinking is there's not much time left. They're just, whatever they're discussing is probably not going to work, but it does. At 19:58, Stevenson. It's from a distance. It's past a screen. It's in the net. We have a 3-3 tie. The assist to Beniers and Montour. So Seattle, they get a point where it wasn't expected, something they've done a lot this year. In the overtime, the Kraken control early, and they would score on their first shot. That's all they needed. At 1:57, Wright buries one from the doorstep. Tolvanen and Evans with the assists. So Seattle wins one in St. Louis, 4-3. For St. Louis, it's another point. It's another lost opportunity. Your 3 stars are Wright, Tolvanen, and Kyrou. Shots on net, 9 apiece in the first, 15-5 Seattle in the second. Both teams had 5 shots in the third. In the overtime, just 1 shot. It's all Seattle needed. Final shots, 30-19 Seattle. Power plays, the Kraken 1 for 3. St. Louis 1 for 2. The hits, 32-14 St. Louis. Grubauer 16 saves on 19 shots. Hofer saved 26 out of 30. All right, let's go ahead and jump to board number 2. All right, 4 more games to go. These are all the 7 o'clock starts. I like tonight's schedule. 6 games at 4 o'clock, 4 games at 7 o'clock. Yes, please. So, Colorado and the Oilers. One of these teams showed up. Wedgwood versus Skinner. It stays scoreless for 13 minutes and 29 seconds. Even though the score would tell you, that seems crazy. 13:29, McCarr goes posting in from the point. Taves and McKinnon with the assists. McCarr enjoyed that so much that he got the exact same goal at 14:35. So a minute and 6 seconds later, McCarr scores, and it's also Taves and McKinnon with the assists. So I'll go ahead and say that's a set play, and the Oilers didn't know how to defend it. And definitely Skinner didn't know how to stop it. Then it happens again. Landeskog scores. There's an offside challenge, meaning it's no goal. This is twice. Gabe Landeskog has got a goal. Both times they've come off the board. This is getting bad. This is stupid. It's been 3 years since he had a goal in the NHL in a regular season game. I mean, would it have mattered if they gave it to him? Anyways, we get 36 seconds of a 5-on-3 for the Avalanche. Edmonton kills that off, but it's 2-0 in favor of Colorado after 1. Second period, 2:38 in, it's Brindley getting a goal from Malinsky and Bardakov. We have a 3-0 lead. Then at 4:45, it's a point shot tipped home by Jack Drury. The assist to Burns and Olofsson. Then at 9:34, it's Kelly from Brindley, and Kelly just dekes around Pickard, who came in relief of Skinner. Showing it didn't really matter who was in net tonight. But then Edmonton answers on the power play. So at 11:30, it's McDavid from Draisaitl on the power play on a failed clear by Colorado, and it only took 7 seconds. So, yeah, they're behind 5-1, but maybe. And then the Oilers get another power play. Great, cool. At 14:38, it's a shorthanded goal by Parker Kelly on a breakaway. You have a 6-1 lead. I think my favorite comment tonight was Louis DeBrusque late in the second period. I think it was Tomaszek that got a block shot, and he thought that was really a good thing because it keeps the score just a 5-goal difference. And I was like, yeah, because Edmonton's scoring 6 goals tonight. Like, I admire, too, when players block shots when the game's pretty much done, but I just thought him saying, well, that keeps it just a 5-goal difference. So we go to the third period with just a 5-goal difference. Not for long. 24 seconds in. My lord. McKinnon wires one short side on a 2-on-1 rush. Lehkonen and Taves with the assist. You could almost hear them on the bench like, okay, the power rankings are tonight. Do we want to be... Come on. THG, we got to make sure that he sees this. Then at 5:02, McKinnon scores again. Scores one from Ross Colton. Then at 14:28, they score again. It's Drury burying one from the slot. Colton and Kelly with the assists. So, yeah, Jack Drury got 2 goals tonight. He's not one of the 3 stars. Colorado wins 9-1, so I've got the no mercy magnet on the board. I considered putting something else on the board just because this is a complete and total destruction. Your 3 stars are Kelly, Makar, and McKinnon. And not a McDavid. Shots on net favored Colorado the whole way. That'll surprise you. 9-6 in the first, 12-10 in the second, 13-8 in the third. Final shots at 34-24 for Colorado. But a lot of those 34 shots were from the slot. A lot of those were just really prime opportunities, whereas the Oilers have felt like they were more perimeter. Your power plays 0 for 7 for Colorado. 1 for 5 for Edmonton. The hits 12-7 for Edmonton, so not a lot of hitting in the game. Wedgwood saved 23-24. Again, Colorado's done a really good job of protecting Wedgwood. He does not face too many pucks in games, and I think that's kept him fresh so they don't have to rush Blackwood into a bunch of them. Skinner saves 9 out of 13. Pickard saves 16 out of 21. The defense wasn't good enough. This was an absolute slaughter. So for the Oilers, they got to bounce back because pretty sure they're playing tomorrow. I have a feeling that might be a magnet that Oilers fans are like, stop using that magnet. So, all right. Next up, Columbus and Vancouver, Merzlikins versus Lankinen. During that first period, it was kind of quiet. Reichel couldn't hit a buzzer beater. He was close. I think Reichel's getting closer and closer to that first goal, though, as a Canuck. Both teams went 0 for 1 in that first period as well. We do not have any goals in that first period. Changes in the second. 5:28 in, DeBrusk gets his first 5-on-5 goal of the season. Buries at glove side. O'Connor and Ratu with the assists. But that lead doesn't last. At 6:44, Marchenko scores from Voronkov and Matejchuk. So we have a 1-1 tie. Then there was a 5-minute penalty on Olivier for a hit on Elias Pettersson, the defenseman of the Canucks. We'll see if Department of Player Safety says or does anything. They haven't said or done anything for a while now. Columbus does kill off that 5-minute power play. And then at 12:58, Voronkov buries a puck that Lankinen just lost. He didn't know where it was, and it was at his feet, so he puts it in the crease. The assists to Marchenko and Fantilli. Late in the period, Vancouver ties it. At 19:03, O'Connor scores from Hughes and Hronik. O'Connor was then immediately cross-checked, and so all the punching gets started. So we end up with 4-on-4 out of that. But after the second period, we have a 2-2 tie. Third period. At 6:15, Connor Garland buries a rebound and close. He scores that one from Myers and Pettersson. So Elias Pettersson on the board with an assist tonight. That won't stop all the criticism. There's still going to be a bunch of criticism for Pettersson. Then at 9:47, Columbus ties it. Marchenko buries one high from the high slot on a rush. Voronkov and Fantilli with the assists. So we have a 3-3 tie. And I just expect overtime. We don't get overtime. At 14:14, Brock Besser buries one from the right circle on a fast break. Prettiest goal I think he's had this season. And interestingly enough, the first assist of the season for Kiefer Sherwood and the first assist for Reichel. His first point since joining the Canucks, and makes it 4-3. With 2:46 left, Columbus gets a power play. With 1:51 left, Columbus calls a timeout. And then, during the 6-on-4, there's a penalty called with 46.1 seconds left on the Blue Jackets, so the Canucks have a power play. However, the goalie pull happens to make it 5-on-5. Then with 10.6 seconds left, it becomes 4-on-4. Just a march to the penalty box. But the Canucks hang on. They win this one 4-3. Your 3 stars are O'Connor, Marchenko, and Besser. Shots on net, 11-8 Columbus in the first, 13-9 Columbus in the second, 8 apiece in the third. Final shots 32-25 for the Blue Jackets. Both teams go 0 for 3 on the power play. The hits 20-15 Vancouver. Merzlikins 21 saves on 25 shots. For Lankinen, we get 29 saves on 32 shots. All right, moving along. The Anaheim Ducks, Vegas Golden Knights. This matchup used to be just a fait accompli, give the 2 points to Vegas. Anaheim once again showed tonight they're not going to go away and they're not going to be an easy out. So it's Mrazek versus Schmid. Now, I'm going to be honest here, too. When I saw Mrazek was the starting goaltender, I thought, why? Wouldn't you want Dostal in this situation? Turns out Joel Quenneville knows what he's doing. At 5:48, though, Vegas opens the scoring. Howden buries one on a pass from behind the goal line. Carlson and Hanifin with the assists. So 1-0 Vegas. That score stands up until 15:49. So 10 minutes and 1 second of game time later, Vetrano tips in a net feed. So he started scoring goals. The assist to Zellweger and Trouba. There's Jacob Trouba again. And we have ourselves a 1-1 tie, and that would be the score after the first. To start the second period, William Karlsson, not on the Vegas bench. Then at 10:39, so just past the halfway mark of the game, Leo Carlsson goes backhand top shelf on a net drive. So if you want to see Leo Carlsson's fantastic hands, load up the footage from that goal. The assist to Troy Terry. Then at 16:50, it's a turnover, and Leo Carlsson scores again. He scores from Zellweger. So at 16:50, it becomes 3-1 in favor of the Anaheim Ducks. Who saw that coming? Third period, full Vegas power play to start. Anaheim does kill that off, but at 3:56, at the start of another power play, it only takes 11 seconds. Dorofeev scores from Eichel. We have a 3-2 lead. But then at 14:53, it's a tie game, because of course it is, because it's Vegas. It's the third period. When they're behind in third periods in Vegas, I assume they're going to score a bunch of goals. In this case, it's from the slot on a turnover. Korczak scores from Barbashev and Marner. So Anaheim was trying to rush out of their zone. They turn it over. They never recovered. We have a 3-3 tie. We're going to overtime. The Ducks control early, but they turn it over. Barbashev is absolutely robbed on a breakaway. I thought for sure that was going to be the one that finishes it. And then Saad was denied as well. Then at 4:28, on a turnover by Vegas, Trouba buries one on a net drive. Leo Carlsson with the assist. Yeah, Jacob Trouba with the overtime winner. We have a 4-3 overtime win for the Anaheim Ducks. Your three stars are Trouba, Carlsson, and Korczak. Shots on net, 8-7 Anaheim in the first, 12-8 Anaheim in the second, 21-6 Vegas in the third. Vegas is so ridiculous in third periods. In the overtime, both teams had 3 shots. Anaheim the shot that matters. Final shots 39-29 in favor of Vegas. Power plays, Anaheim 0 for 1, Vegas 1 for 3. The hits 18-17 Anaheim. Mrazek saves 36 out of 39. Schmid saves 25 out of 29. All right, last game that we're going to discuss now is Florida and San Jose. So it's Tarasov versus Askarov. And yeah, it is Celebrini. San Jose. Celebrini at 17:25. It's a turnover, and it's a pass from behind the goal line, and it's buried by Celebrini. Smith and Desharnais with the assists. Things are then pushy at the horn. You can tell Florida kind of ticked off, and San Jose not backing down. So it's 1-0 for the Sharks after the first. Second period, 3:06 in. Adam Gaudette bats a point shot out of the air. Florida thought about challenging, but they didn't for high stick. The assist to Orlov and Liljegren. So Orlov has 11 assists already on the season, but Florida would answer. 28 seconds later, Marchand puts one into the open net on a rebound at 3:34. Lundell and Luostarinen with the assists. Now, Askarov did have his helmet off on that play, but from what I could see, it was a continuation. Those goals are going to count. They don't automatically blow the whistle if a referee or if the mask comes off of the goaltender. We get 11 seconds of 5-on-3 for the Panthers late in that period, but the Sharks do kill that off, and they lead 2-1 after 2. Third period, the referee is informed that he sucks at 7 minutes, and I'm going to say it. There were some non-calls in that third period that I was bewildered by, especially the too many men on the ice call. They didn't call on Florida, because I thought there were some calls there that could have been made, especially considering calls that were made earlier in the game. But at any rate, the goalie pull happens with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. And despite all the opportunities in the world, Florida can't tie it. And Wenberg hits the empty net from Graf and Smith at 19:09. San Jose beat Florida tonight 3-1. I know Florida's without Tkachuk, they're without Barkov and all that. But still, San Jose beat Florida tonight. They're above 500. Your three stars are Askarov, Celebrini, and Marchand in this 3-1 win for San Jose. Shots on net, 14-6 San Jose in the first, 20-3 Florida in the second, 13-6 Florida in the third. Final shots are 39-23 for the Panthers. Power plays, Florida goes 0 for 5. San Jose goes 0 for 2. The hits, 23-17 for Florida. Tarasov, 20 saves on 22 shots. But Askarov, after a really rough start to the season, he's turned it around. 38 saves on 39 shots. All right, let's discuss the standings. There's some chaos in the standings. Although Colorado's still first, 15 games, 9-1-5 record, 23 points. Dallas is second, 15 games, 8-4-3 record, 19 points. Kind of came out of nowhere. Dallas is second. Winnipeg's third, 14 games, 9-5 record for 18 points. So that's your top three. Those are the three that I think we all expected to be the top three in the Central. So things have kind of settled out. Pacific, not settling out. 14 games, 10-3-1 record for Anaheim. They have 21 points. They're 3 points clear of Vegas now. Vegas 7-3-4, 18 points in 14 games. The same record as Seattle. They just have the tiebreaker on Seattle, but same record as Seattle for Vegas. Utah's the number one wild card at 9-6, 18 points in 15 games. But it feels like Utah's started to kind of fall apart. Chicago 7-5-3, 17 points in 15 games. Still the number two wild card. San Jose, they're the top team not in the playoffs. 7-6-3 record, 17 points in 16 games. They're 4 points out of first in the Pacific. So when was the last time that happened? The Kings 6-5-4, 16 points in 15 games. The Canucks are an even 8-8, 16 points in 16 games. The Oilers 6-6-4, 16 points in 16 games. Minnesota 6-7-3 for 15 points in 16 games. Nashville 5-8-4 for 14 points in 17 games. St. Louis 5-8-3, 13 points in 16 games for St. Louis. And Calgary, of course, last in the West at 10 points, 4-10-2, 10 points in 16 games. The Atlantic, well, Tampa's back in the top three. Boston's number two. Montreal, 15 games, 10-3-2 record, 22 points. Fantastic run for Montreal. Boston, 10-7, 20 points in 17 games, 6-game winning streak. No idea what's going on, but hey, Boston's on a heater. Tampa is as well, 8-5-2, 18 points in 15 games. The Metro, things stay the same. But for New Jersey, 11-4, 22 points in 15 games. They now have a 1-point lead on Pittsburgh, who are 9-4-3, 16 games played, so they've also played one more game than have New Jersey. Carolina 10-4, 20 points in 14 games. Your number one wild card now is Detroit. So I talked about Utah dropping. Detroit's dropping as well. 9-6, 18 points in 15 games. Philadelphia is still the number two wild card. 8-5-2, 18 points in 15 games. Toronto is right below the playoff line at 8-6-1, 17 points in 15 games. Ottawa's right below them at 7-5-3, so also 17 points in 15 games. The Islanders 7-6-2, 16 points in 15 games. The Rangers 7-7-2, 16 points in 16 games. Terrible on home ice, great on the road. Washington 7-7-1, so 15 points in 15 games. Florida also 7-7-1, 15 points in 15 games. Columbus 7-7, 14 points in 14 games. And Buffalo is last, 5-6-4, 14 points in 15 games. They are now 4 points out of the playoffs alongside Columbus. This is where you start to see that separation forming. Buffalo and Columbus have to be careful because otherwise they might find themselves out of the chase within a couple of weeks here when we hit American Thanksgiving. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon. And also, why would anybody wonder if I actually watch the games? I still see those comments and they still bewilder me. Why would I make it up? Weird.